Now, you don't expect what happens at the beginning of chapter 28. You do not expect it. I literally went, no! Tash said, are you responding out loud to a novel? I went, no. Something else. I was thinking about something else. It's
penalties.
Oh my gosh. So, and the twist, the book gets finer sliced as it goes. It's like when you're running out of a loaf and you're slicing it yourself. It gets thinner slices because more people want toast. And you just keep twisting and twisting and twisting. Did you know all these twists were going to happen?
I did. I plot a lot. Because I'm twisted.
Virgin Radio.
Our next guest is an up-and-coming author waiting for her big break. No, sorry, wrong intro. She's sold millions of books in dozens of languages and is always a Sunday Times bestseller. Her 24th novel, First Wife's Shadow, is out now. So once again, let's give top marks to Adele Parks.
Morning!
Good morning. That's an intro.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't read fiction.
You do now.
I do now. Do you know about my 100-page rule?
No.
So the 100-page rule is, somebody told me about this in Los Angeles when I was on holiday. So the 100-page rule is you get the first 100 pages of a book minus your age.
Yeah.
Which for me is 42 because I'm 58.
Yeah.
You read 42 pages and then after that you decide whether you want to carry on reading or not.
Yes, because life's too short.
It's a great rule, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
and as you
brilliant.
get older, there are fewer pages you have to read, but you know more about what you like, so that's okay.
Yeah. And you've got less time, so
Yeah,
crack
exactly.
on. Yeah.
Exactly. I still don't know why older people drive around so slowly. They've got less time to get anywhere. Get on with it. No, because they've learned to enjoy the journey.
That's it. But you cracked on.
Oh, mate, what a book. What a book.
Thank you.
All right, so Emma, she's sort of is she the star? She's the central character. It's a first-person book from her point of view up until a point, and then chapter 28 hits you in the face. Didn't see that one come in.
That's exactly what I want to hear. I think it's my best rug pull yet.
Unbelievable, because
Yeah.
you know we're heading towards somewhere. You have to, with most
Something
good
has to
books,
happen.
something has to happen that you don't expect or you can't guess, or you might be able to guess and you feel good about guessing. But you don't expect something to happen like that in the middle of the book. That's quite punk, Adele Parks.
I do. I play with structure. I do. Because I think, I don't want to get predictable. And I've written 24 books in 24 years. And my promise to my readers is, I hope, I will always give them something different.
Right.
Yeah.
So Emma's 47.
Yeah.
She's very successful. Is she self-made or did she make it herself, or was it a bit of both? Who knows? She's a CEO of a company. She's permanently single, and then she meets Mr. Right / couldn't be more wrong / don't know. Am I right in thinking he's wrong? Am I wrong in thinking he's right?
That's Matthew down to a T.
Yeah. And then Matthew is so dodgy. And I just said to Adele off the air, it's like when you watch a horror movie and they always go down to the cellar. You go, don't go down to the cellar. And the character shouts back, she doesn't, but there wouldn't be a film if I didn't go down to the cellar. Same with Matthew.
Yes,
He's the cellar.
He is sort of, but he's also irresistible. He's 12 years younger than her. He's a widower. And because he has been married before, he has this sort of belief that you need to crack on with life and, don't waste any time. And she gets caught up in that. And maybe that's a great thing, or maybe it's the worst thing ever. She's always been super controlled. You're right, she's very successful. She's made a lot of money. She had a bit of help in the start, but she's made a lot of money. She comes from a very chaotic background, so she's spent her life trying to get things organised, and then she lets him in emotionally, and everything goes kabang, kabang. I'm trying to think of a way of not spoiling it.
Kabang is good. So Gina and Heidi are bezies. Mm-hmm. So there's a menage a trois of friendship going on there. They've got her back. But of course, there are times when we don't want our friends to have our back because you think you've got my back, but you don't
know.
I don't need it this time.
Yeah.
No, this is fine. And so there's a puppeteer here in the overarching, or is there? You
don't know what to say because it's twisty-turny. I know, it's so hard.
But we think there's a puppeteer, right? We think Matthew might be the puppeteer, and we think that Emma might be the puppet. But then what if the puppeteer has a puppeteer? It's so complicated. And I was thinking about the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the finals of the Euro Championships, because that's what this is. It's about the same number of people.
Yeah.
The 6 to 8 teams, the 6 to 8 people, and they're all heading towards a final. Is that how you write it? The pyramid of drama.
I guess it is, because I try and keep my cast quite small and tight and talk about that intensity that we have. And you're absolutely right. Her big emotional investment has been her friends all the way along. She hasn't looked for love or wanted to be completed by being in a relationship.
She's been okay with that.
She's totally fine with that. And then she's not, because she lets him in. And opening yourself up emotionally is tricky. And her friends are unsettled by it as well. So everybody's kind of on new sort of moving sands, and they're competing with each other for her affection. And, let's be honest, for her cash. Because she's wealthy.
She's super wealthy.
She's super wealthy. And this comes into it, which is really sad. But sort of the themes of this book are greed, obsession, because she's pretty obsessed with the fact he's had a wife before, and she feels she can only be second choice, because if the first wife hadn't died, he would still be married to her. So it's not even like a divorce where you think, well, fresh start. It's like, no, she is the first choice. So there's the obsession thing, there's greed, but there is the friendship. It's got a lot of emotions in there.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the other sort of pillars is the dream.
Yeah.
She wants the dream.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Somebody said today, before we came on the air, somebody said today, nowadays, often a person's calendar is more indicative of their true wealth as opposed to their bank account. And I quite like that, because she's got the bank account, but she hasn't necessarily got the calendar or the diary.
Yeah, she doesn't. You mean because she's not doing things with her life?
Yeah.
She's just got she sees her friends and she works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not going on holiday. She's not living her own life. She's kind of borrowing other people's. Yeah. And suddenly she has this opportunity to have her own life. But it already seems to belong.
With this super handsome, gorgeous guy who's 12 years younger than her. Like Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
the writing's on the wall, but I suppose the reason it works is because we want her friends to be wrong and her heart to be right. Mm-hmm. That's what we want to happen.
And maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. The subtitle for this book could be, it's called First Wife's Shadow, Adele Parks. First Wife's Shadow, in brackets. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Do you know, I say that about life all the time.
It's so true.
I absolutely say that.
Yeah, but you don't. It's funny, isn't it? Because you don't need that. Because if you put the work in and you put the hard yards in, not always, but if you can sort of load the bases in your own favour. She does that. Tell us about her morning ritual, which is how you start the show.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. She gets up, and I think it's like 5:08 or something. She's got it down to the minute. She makes a smoothie. It's a kale smoothie. She goes for a run. She does some yoga. She checks her emails. She'll have a quick moment where she will look at her friends' texts. Because it's not all work. But it's down to the minute, and she does it relentlessly every day. I had a really scary moment recently when somebody in an interview said to me, "But isn't that you? That's how you spend your life." I was like, "Well, no." And then I went, "Oh, hang on, yes. Other than the running, that is me."
Yeah.
Which is horrifying, can I say, chaps? Just horrifying.
It's funny that you omit the running there, because I thought, who am I to pull you up on anything? But I'm thinking, because in the description of her running, you say the average woman's running pace is 6.5 miles an hour. And I think, no, it's not, because we run all the time. Because it's not, because there's nothing such thing as an average woman. I mean, and I thought the opposite. I thought Adele clearly doesn't run, because she would know that that's not a thing.
I don't run. No, I'm genuinely don't run.
I can tell.
The only time I run is for the bus. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to be late.
But everything else was so bang on. So
statistically, that is the average.
Yeah, but statistically, we actually run in real world.
Oh, well, I absolutely don't. Yeah. Sorry.
Right,
that's research. That's Google messing me up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lyndhurst, right?
Yeah.
Now, Lyndhurst is one of my favourite places in the world, and it's full of antique shops. But it's not, though. It's full of ice cream shops. It used to be fun.
I know, but it was pre-COVID,
right,
which was the last time I went.
No, it's all good. But I'm thinking,
but I had to make that shop up because of what happens.
No,
in it.
And I said this. It's a novel. This is why I don't get on with novels. It's like, but that's not right. But she's made it. Yeah, but other people.
You have to make it up if you're going to do something bad in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you can't have it. Bad things happen in real
places.
Yeah, you can't. Because somebody somewhere will go, "Is that meant to be my shop?"
Yeah.
So that's why that particular shop was described in a particular way.
A 3-floored antique shop in Lyndhurst, because there aren't any 3 floors.
No, I know. There used to be.
Yeah, 3 floors?
2.
Yes.
It was a 2-floor
Not
one.
3 then.
Yeah, no, because I couldn't do a 2-floor one in case they said,
No,
is
I
that
know,
our
it's
place?
good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's why we're having the chat.
Yeah.
That's why we're having all the yak.
But you have to. It's amazing how many people either see themselves or something about, the place, the environment. I mean, that's great because the whole thing about writing is to connect.
Yeah.
But you don't want the people.
I was all connected. I was fully
Excellent.
connected. By
But
the
you
way,
don't want people suing you because awful things happened in their antique
No,
shop.
this is good. But your book kept me gripped. A, shouldn't because it's a novel. Don't like them. Yes, I do. Clearly, I'm in denial. But B, it was pre and post the penalty shootout, and it's still. I couldn't wait to get back to it.
Oh my gosh, that
Can
is
you
the best
imagine?
compliment I've ever had.
Yeah.
That is seriously good. Thank you.
When you come up, what happens with Adele's book, by the way, is chapter 28 is about halfway through. Now, you don't expect what happens at the beginning of chapter 28. You do not expect it. I literally went, no! Tash said, are you responding out loud to a novel? I went, no. Something else. I was thinking about something else. It's
penalties.
Oh, my gosh. So, and the twist, the book gets finer sliced as it goes. It's like when you're running out of a loaf, you're slicing it yourself. It gets thinner slices because more people want toast. And you just keep twisting and twisting and twisting. Did you know all these twists were going to happen?
I did. I plot a lot. Because I'm twisted. Yeah, I plot. I can imagine. So I always know where it's going to end.
Right.
And I like to give several beats. I actually slow build. My novels are quite slow, and I have had people say, why did you go so slowly at the beginning? And I was like, so you really care.
Yeah.
Because when we meet people, we don't dive in and tell them everything about ourselves. We sort of slowly edge up to it. And then the more we trust people, and that's the reader relationship, the reader-author relationship, the more you trust them, the faster it can get. And that's when I start dropping the twists. So yeah, anyone who gives up halfway has really missed out.
Well, you can't give up halfway.
Oh, bless you.
You
Thank
can't.
you.
When I can't even say it.
The thing. When the thing happens.
This thing happens, and you go, well, that's where we are. You go, no, it's like part 2. So it's a bit like Extra Time and penalties. In fact, that's what it's like. It's 2 halves of 45. You go. The second half is complete game of 2 halves, book of 2 halves, you think. Mm-hmm. Then there's extra time.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
then
right.
you bring on a few subs from nowhere who never thought they were going to get brought off the bench. Yeah. And then he goes to penalties, and the penalty shot is like nothing we've ever seen before.
You've probably just doubled my readership because now every man in the country is going to go, okay, I'll give it a go. Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.
I think I could write some of the stuff in between, right? But I couldn't come up with the overarching.
It's a lot of fun.
A plus B equals C.
It is a lot of fun. I kind of, I find these characters and I interview my characters. So you'd love that bit. So I really want to get to know them. So I have a range of about 200 questions and I will ask my first, second, possibly third character many of those questions.
For example?
Do you touch wood if you want to keep things lucky?
Brilliant.
That's not going to come in a book. But I need to know if they're that person that
really
would believe
defining,
in that.
isn't
It is.
No,
It is.
No, of course not. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, do you know your birth sign? Because, do you believe, that kind of thing? What's your first memory? And then I start digging a bit deeper and say, do you have any secrets? Do you have a secret? And I ask them as though I'm talking to them, do you have a secret that you wouldn't tell anyone?
Do you touch wood, by the way?
I do touch wood.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I really like it. Do you find you've
do
touched
touch
it more
wood.
as you get older?
Yeah, I think I always touch wood.
Yeah.
And look, it's fine. It's worked for me. I'm just saying the people who don't touch
Give
wood
us
are
some more of
missing
those
out.
questions. Those questions are great.
I want to know what they thought of their first kiss. Was it exciting or was it a letdown? I want to know if they've ever done any shoplifting of any kind. Did they nick sweets when they were children from
All right.
Woolworths?
Well, let's ask that question of Emma. Did she or not?
Oh, Emma definitely did not.
Did not?
No,
Does
she
she
would-
touch wood?
She does not.
She's so practical.
Yeah.
She binary, quite binary.
She is. But I think by the end of it, she probably wishes she had touched wood.
See, I would say Matthew doesn't touch wood, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to him.
It doesn't
to touch
occur
wood.
to him. He doesn't think that deeply about that kind of
bet.
thing.
He
Or
did-
anything.
Well,
Or anything.
or does he?
We can't
He's
say.
so clever. So clever. So
And
clever.
I could be misleading you even in the interview.
If the book had have finished 5 chapters earlier than it does, it would have still been a brilliant book.
Oh, thank you.
And then the sort of 4th last chapter could have finished there better than the first book. And then same all the way down to the last page, man.
Thank you.
And the last paragraph. What you say about life.
I do. I'm just overwhelmed. This is just like the best interview of my entire life because I love the fact that normally, you'd say you don't think you read, and now you found that passion. First of all, I've got 23 others you can read. I'll just have them all sent up to you.
By the way, they're coming my way.
Yeah, good. But second to that, it is people think they're not into novels, and then they might, I spend a lot of time doing work with National Literacy Trust. I really think it's so important that people are reading. I think it gives us a greater level of empathy. I think it obviously helps our education, but mostly it's entertaining. And you've just got all of that through this one book.
But I read loads. So
but you don't read novels?
I read 3 books a week.
Wow,
yeah.
But never novels?
Never novels. I mean, like
now,
a couple.
No.
Yeah. Bizarrely, the first book I ever read was Black Beauty because I had to.
Was that a school book?
Anna Sewell. And it was like, I did love that book.
Oh.
But anyway, this is great. So where am I going next then? After the 23, where do I go next? I don't want to go back just one. Or should I? I don't know.
No, you shouldn't go back one. You either go back 3 or 2.
Give me your greatest hits.
This is why, but back 3 is called Both of You. And then there's a sequel just between us. So you must do those in that order.
And is it always about men and women, or is that what you write about all the time?
Yeah,
I like that because I don't know about your books.
It is. It's always a relationship within a psychological thriller.
First person always?
Yes, but sometimes multiple viewpoints. And the one in between I really want to give you a punch to is One Last Secret, which is about an escort. And I didn't really know much about escorts, and the research for that and the questions of that character were enlightening. So that's worth a read.
Okay, I'm going to take 3 books. I'm going to take 3 of your books on holiday.
So in this order, One Last Secret.
Next.
Yeah, and then so they follow on from each other, Both of You, and Just Between Us, because they're a pair.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
I'm just having the best time.
You're absolutely clever. Can I just say how well your eyes are so... When Formula One drivers are sitting on the grid, you can only see through their visor, right? And they always look to have these really sort of snowy white eyes, and whatever the colour is, they're sparkling and vibrating, and you can't ignore them. You have very similar, very healthy eyes. So you're a very healthy person.
I'm quite healthy. Yes, I think I'm pretty healthy.
What does quite healthy mean?
Well, I look after myself. I want to live to 104. That is the goal.
104?
Yeah. When I was 52, everyone kept going, oh, you're middle-aged. I was like, yeah, you're right. 52, halfway through. I'm heading for 104.
52, halfway through?
Yeah. I'm a little bit of a poet and I don't know it. That's my goal. So, I do yoga, and I do have the kale smoothie that Emma has every morning. So I kind of look after myself. But actually, probably my eyes are really bright at the moment because you're pouring the compliments on me, and I'm loving that. It's lovely. Best Monday morning ever.
Anything you'd like to say to anybody else listening right now?
Honestly, it's a psychological thriller that it's not like bodies and chopped up and all of that. It's about the mean things and the clever things and the loving things we will do to each other. It's about humanity, and I would love it if you read it and then got in touch with me and told me what you think about it.
Yeah, and it's also about the simplicity of ourselves, isn't it? Because we are very complicated beings, just not where we think we're complicated, and we're very simple where we want to appear more sophisticated.
Yes, people want to be loved, and that's the heart of this book. And they all go around it in some dodgy ways, to use your words.
And by the way, as I said off the air, you write dodgy really well.
Clearly met too many dodgy men in my life.
He's so dodgy, this guy. I mean. He is all the dodge. Isn't he?
I can't comment.
And you even make us feel a bit sorry for him, like 2/3 in. Maybe he wasn't all the dodge ones because he had his dreams and his hopes and.
Well, everybody does, don't they?
Too, yeah. But then
it's the choices we make.
Gosh. All right. I sort of let him off 2/3 in, and then you go, no. Actually. Saying too much now? The multi-million copy best-selling author Adele Parks. I'll drop anything for a new Adele Parks, says Lucy Foley. And here, so say all of us. First Wife's Shadow. By the way, great house on the front cover with the pool. Tell me that's yours. Tell me that's the house you get if you write all these books.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's not identical. It's very similar to my house. Yeah.
Where do you live?
I live in Guildford. Oh. And now everyone's going to go and find my house.
Do you live on the hill?
I'm not going to say any more. People are going to be knocking.
There's loads of hills in Guildford.
There are loads of hills. No, I live in a street, normal street, but we built our own house, and it is sort of like the one on the cover. It's very open plan, very Hollywood. I don't have
very mid-century.
Very mid-century, and I don't have curtains or blinds either. That's very Emma. She thinks she can be seen. She thinks her life is so open, and then everything becomes a lot more opaque, and she needs to pull those blinds down.
Ghostly goings on, or are there? Dun dun dun! Emma. Thank you.
Pleasure.
You're the
Thank
best.
you. You're the best.
She's very good, isn't she? Should we give her a controlled round of applause? Adele Parks. She can write a story. Awesome.
I love you.